This training is for corner store and carryout owners, and we will be talking about preventing foodborne illness, keeping food in your store safe, and preparing healthier meals for your customers. We will begin our talk by defining food safety. We will then talk about the need for food safety and finish our talk with how to practice food safety and healthy cooking in your store. Food safety is defined as the proper handling, preparation, and storage of food from accidental contamination from chemical, biological, or physical hazards to prevent foodborne illness. Foodborne illness, commonly called food poisoning, is an illness resulting from eating foods contaminated by viruses, bacteria, parasites, or toxins. 1 in 6 Americans get sick from foodborne illnesses each year. There are 4 main ways that food can become unsafe: through poor personal hygiene, time-temperature abuse, cross-contamination, and contaminated equipment. You may be thinking, how does foodborne illness happen, and how does poor personal cleanliness cause foodborne illness? One main way that food becomes unsafe is through the personal hygiene of those who handle food. Employees can contaminate food through poor personal cleanliness practices, such as not washing hands after using the restroom, coughing or sneezing on food, touching or scratching wounds and then touching food, or coming to work sick. What can you do to prevent foodborne illnesses? Wear a clean hat or hairnet. Wear clean clothing daily. Remove aprons when leaving food preparation areas, and remove jewelry from hands and arms. Hand washing is the #1 way to prevent the spread of foodborne illnesses. Food handlers should wash their hands before they start work, after work, and as often as needed, such as after using the restroom, touching clothing, hair, their face or body, sneezing, coughing, or using a tissue, smoking tobacco or eating, handling raw meat, poultry, and seafood both before and after, when handling money, or when touching anything else that may contaminate their hands, such as dirty dishes, equipment, work surfaces, wiping towels, garbage bags, etc. Hand washing has 6 simple steps. Wet the hands, soak for 20 seconds, scrub the back of the hands, the wrists, between fingers, and also under fingernails. Rinse, towel dry, and turn off the tap with the towel. Another way that food becomes unsafe is through cross-contamination, which is the transfer of microorganisms like germs, bacteria, parasites, from one surface to another. When does food become cross-contaminated? When adding contaminated ingredients to a food that is not cooked any further, when contaminated foods touch or drip into ready-to-eat foods, when a food handler touching contaminated food then touches ready-to-eat food, if ready-to-eat food touches contaminated surfaces, or when contaminated cleaning towels touch surfaces that make contact with food. See the appendix for more detail on how to clean surfaces to prevent cross-contamination. There are 4 main ways to prevent cross-contamination. Store raw meats, poultry, and seafood below ready-to-eat food products. Use separate cutting boards for raw and ready-to-eat foods like vegetables or sandwiches. Properly cover or wrap all food items, and always wear gloves when working with prepared food. See our appendix at the end for more information on when to change your gloves. Time and temperature affect the growth of bacteria and can be another way that food becomes unsafe. Time-temperature abuse is when food has remained too long at temperatures that harmful organisms like germs or bacteria like to grow. One simple concept to keep in mind is the temperature danger zone. Germs and bacteria grow best between 41 degrees Fahrenheit and 135 degrees Fahrenheit, so it is important to keep your food below or above this range. How do you prevent harmful germs from growing in the food you sell? Rotate products to ensure that the oldest inventory is used first. Store cold food at below 41 degrees Fahrenheit and hot foods above 135 degrees Fahrenheit, and check temperatures often. Do not overload ovens, fryers, or other cooking equipment. Discard food that is past its expiration date. Make sure all rooms are well ventilated and out of direct sunlight. And keep food rooms cool and dry between 50 degrees Fahrenheit and 70 degrees Fahrenheit. There are a few ways to thaw foods properly. First, in a refrigerator at 41 degrees Fahrenheit or below, by placing the item under running water at 70 degrees Fahrenheit or below. To thaw the item in a microwave if it will be cooked immediately, or to thaw foods as part of the cooking process. There are some foods that can be reserved and some that should not be. Do not reserve menu items returned by one customer, plate garnishes such as fruit or pickles, uncovered condiments, or uneaten bread or rolls. You can reserve unopened prepackaged foods like condiment packets, wrapped crackers or wrapped breadsticks, and bottles of ketchup, mustard, or other condiments. How can you make sure that your produce is fresh? Examine produce if possible before buying, and check for bruises, dents, or spoiled spots. Tell the vendor if you find these. Do not buy a fruit or vegetable if the core has black spots or the stem is soft. Look for mold on citrus and tropical fruit, and if you see white on the skin, do not buy them. Fruits and vegetables should smell fresh, and produce that smells bad will not taste good. Reject deliveries of produce with cuts, wilting, mushiness, discoloration, or dull appearance. We are going to end this training by summarizing a few quick tips to keep your food and customers safe. Don't work if you are sick. Wash your hands. Don't touch ready-to-eat foods with bare hands. Don't cross-contaminate. Monitor temperatures of your food and food storage areas. And practice good personal hygiene. What is the temperature danger zone? The answer is A, 41 to 135 degrees Fahrenheit. What is the number one way to prevent the spread of germs? Hand washing is the number one way to prevent the spread of germs. Name 2 of the 4 ways food becomes unsafe. Food can become unsafe due to poor employee cleanliness, through cross-contamination, incorrect food preparation temperature or time, or through contaminated equipment. True or false? Removing jewelry helps prevent the spread of germs during food preparation. The answer is true. Here are the answers for review. Thank you for completing the food safety training video. You now have a great start to keeping your healthy food safe and your customers free of foodborne illness. If you want more information or detail about some topics we talked about today, Feel free to look at our appendices, and if you would like any handouts or educational materials for your store, please let us know and we would be happy to provide them. Food also becomes unsafe through contaminated equipment. Cleaning work surfaces is a great way to cut down on bacterial growth. First, clean the surface, then rinse the surface, sanitize the surface with heat or chemical sanitizer, and finally allow the surface to air dry. Employees should change gloves to prevent cross-contamination when preparing food. At least every 4 hours during continual use, after handling raw meat, at the beginning of a different task, and before handling ready-to-eat foods. There are certain temperatures that items need to be cooked to in order to prevent the risk of foodborne illness. Please read the list of common meat products and their minimum internal cooking temperatures. Controlling the temperature of certain foods can ensure that they will stay fresh to decrease food waste. Please see the list of common foods and their ideal storage temperature and average shelf life. Some items like apples, pears, oranges, and peppers can be displayed at room temperature. This will shorten their shelf life. If you display these items at room temperature during the day, be sure to refrigerate them at night.